New York State was holding my client's refund hostage by way of an audit. They wanted proof that their business was legit and that the expenses they were trying to deduct were accurate and real. After reviewing our documents, the ones we submitted to them, they came to the conclusion that most of the expenses were legit. In fact, the other expenses, I'll get to that in a bit, they claimed they never received it. In any event, they allowed $3,276 out of an initial refund request of $4,374. But here's the catch. But then again, we did this by mail. That was our only option. And so anything could have happened. That stuff could have gotten separated from the original packet. I don't know what happened, but I know we provide everything that they requested. In any event, the refund, as I said before, that we requested was $4,375, and the taxpayer ultimately received $3,276. So initially, the form NECs that they had, that's actually where third parties report the income paid to non-employees, i.e. contractors. In this particular client's case, it was about $25,000 in income, right, on a Form 1099 NEC. And then over here, they talk about that they only allowed $19,000 in business expenses, and that they have issues with these particular expenses: car and truck expense, depreciation, repairs and maintenance, which is a pretty good number, $9,700, and two other items, travel and utilities. So they have issue with this because they said they never received the information. I don't think that's accurate, but I'm not going to debate with them. What I told the clients that we have rights, we can actually pursue this further. Taxpayer doesn't want to do that, so we're left with what we have. So they don't allow estimates. I just want to kind of go through a couple of pointers on this page that's going to help to audit proof your tax return. So if something does come up, you have documentation to support. So they want detailed documentation, of course, including invoices, bank statements, receipts, and everything supporting your income and your expenses. What they don't allow are estimates. They don't allow estimates as support for your deductions. That's not allowed. Now, as far as bank statements go, they will allow it, but you have to have corresponding information. So I always tell clients that you cannot only rely on the bank statement as proof. In fact, it's not proof because the bank statement does not provide sufficient detail about the transaction, about the particular event that would, rise to the level of sufficient documentation. Okay. So you order something from Amazon, it just says Amazon and $20,000. What did you buy from Amazon? So that's why you need to have the receipt to support that. Now, as far as repairs and maintenance, they're saying that you have to show a nexus, a connection between the repair and maintenance and the expense. Now, for this particular client, it had to do with the repairs on the vehicle. Okay, I believe, and I could be mistaken there, but the point is that you have to show that somehow that item of expense, in this particular case, repairs and maintenance, has a connection to the business. In this particular client's case, they traveled for training as part of their professional development. So that's something that you'll need to support. Make sure you get copies of the training material and it has a nexus to your business. Make sure you get the itinerary, the agenda, whatever it is. Make sure you get all of that stuff when you want to support your travel expenses. And then as far as bad debt in this particular case, I won't even talk about that. It's such a minimal amount of money. But when you talk about vehicle, you cannot deduct your vehicle mileage. That's like a standard deduction for using a vehicle versus actual. It's one or the other, not both. So I'm not sure why they pointed out here, if that's just general information, but I know we didn't do both. We did one. I believe we did the actual method, where we show them the actual expenses tied to the vehicle. Now, on the next page, they talk about how they recomputed the tax return to determine what the refund was going to be. Of course, you see $21,600 or something like that. That includes the business piece of the situation. But the main thing I want to highlight on this page is the interest. this taxpayer is getting interest on their money, which is awesome. And it's not too often that we hear about the government paying interest on when they owe someone taxes, right? So that's totally appropriate. This taxpayer got $185 in interest, rightly so, because they held up their refund inappropriately. And then on this other page, we have what happens if you disagree. If you disagree, there's a way to respond online. To say you disagree, you log into your online services account, and then you go to, I think, the left-hand panel, and you look there for respond to notices. And then the other option is to fax or mail them something, right? That I don't like, but again, this is what brought us to where we are now with this particular case. We mailed the stuff in and they claim they never received it. So ideally, you want to use the online portal to upload documents and whatever you can. Sometimes it's so voluminous, it's difficult to do that. But where you can, try to upload documents versus mailing documents. And then your protest rights. This is what I was talking to the taxpayer about. They declined to do it. You have protest rights in a request for conciliation. They'll speak with a third party about your case. You'll present your argument, hopefully new information to that person, and they'll decide in conjunction with the person who did the audit. But it's largely based on their direction. And then you have petition. You can petition the equivalent of tax court at the state level. If it's so egregious that you're going to lose a lot of money or be expected to pay a lot of money, you may want to take it to tax court. So that's it for me, guys. If you want to reach me, you can DM me at the bottom of this video. You can also comment at the bottom of this video. And if not, email me. You can find my contact information by visiting my website, www.wscullycpa.com. Bye for now.